All right, to discuss this further, Nibal Farsak, spokesperson for the Palestinian Red Crescent Society from Ramallah, West Bank, joins me here on the broadcast. Ms. Farsak, thank you so much for joining me. Your assessment of the ceasefire deal, what's next?
Good afternoon. Thanks for having me. The Palestine Red Crescent welcomes the announcement of ceasefire. It has been more than 15 months of continuous killing, destruction, displacement, and famine. Now we have a lot to do to alleviate the unprecedented suffering. We need to work in order to allow the entry of humanitarian aid. The Palestine Red Crescent calls for the opening of all crossing points to allow safe, sustained, and enough humanitarian aid to get into the Gaza Strip and to be able to distribute this safely to all the affected population. Especially now, as you know, the entire population suffer because of severe levels of food insecurity. There is unimaginable destruction of civilians' infrastructure, including streets, roads, water networks. We need also to get enough tents into the Gaza Strip so people can have a proper shelter. The challenges and the needs are just immense, and we need to work really hard to be able to meet the population's need.
Ms. Farsak, as far as the visuals we've seen coming in from Gaza, they've been devastating. I wanted you to give us an estimate of the extent of the damage and the reconstruction process. If you put a timeline to it, how long will it really take and how soon can it start?
According to experts' estimates, it's going to take decades to be able to rebuild Gaza again. The scale and extent of the destruction is just unimaginable. According to initial estimation, in terms of the percentages of home that has been damaged, it's almost between 60 to 70% of Gaza home have been damaged. Most of roads, streets, sanitation and water networks, in addition to schools, mosques, and other facilities have been damaged. In terms even of healthcare facilities, we're talking about only 16 hospitals out of 36 are now partially functional. The rest were damaged because of the repeated attacks. So only if we want to reoperate hospitals in Gaza, which is, I'm talking here only about the healthcare system, according to the WHO estimation, billions of dollars are needed to be able to reoperate the hospitals who were taken out of service. It's just hard even to describe the scale of damage. As I said, after 15 months of continuous bombardments, Gaza almost uninhabitable.
Ms. Farsak, Gazans have already begun returning to their homes. From what I gather from what you've said, and of course we've been seeing visuals coming in from there, what are they returning to at this point? You mentioned tents which will be required at this point, but where do you expect all those people to now settle with with the amount and scale of destruction?
So many families took the opportunity to come back to their homes to check on their homes, which are most probably are rubbles. Some families are willing to build tents or makeshifts next to their destroyed homes. Of course, there is an urgent need for the humanitarian assistance to be allowed to get into the Gaza Strip, because these people, if they manage to go back to their destroyed home, of course, they are in need of many basic necessities. This include food, clean water, in addition to tents or whatsoever. Also, of course, relief items such as blankets, mattresses, pillows, and even clothing and shoes. All of these are considered as urgent needs. So we need to allow the entry of humanitarian aid to be able to distribute this aid to the people who are, of course, in urgent need of it.
And how soon can the aid trucks make their way into Gaza? From reports, they suggest that the trucks are ready on the Egyptian side of the border. How soon can they enter? You mentioned about alleviating the situation over there, but the humanitarian aid needs to flow in for that. What's a timeline on that?
Up to this moment, many information are not clear yet, so we are waiting to know extra information regarding the procedures on getting the aid trucks into the Gaza Strip. The Palestinian Red Crescent has trucks that are waiting on the border in Egypt. We have also other trucks in Jordan and others in the West Bank. All of our volunteers, staff, and warehouses are ready. We have humanitarian aid that is packed and ready to be sent. We only waiting to receive clearance so the humanitarian aid is being sent so we can be able to distribute this aid at the people who are in need of it.
Ms. Farzad, one quick question at the end. You mentioned about the clearance. Now that clearance, are you waiting for that clearance to come in from the Red Crescent authorities? Will that come from Israel? Will it come from Hamas?
Up to this moment, we are still waiting to receive approval to send our aid trucks that are waiting to be delivered into the Gaza Strip, and this is of course related to the Israeli authorities' permit in regards to the entry of the humanitarian aid. Hopefully, we can get this aid to be delivered into the Gaza Strip as soon as possible to be distributed at the affected population.
Ms. Nibal Farzad, thank you so much for joining me on the broadcast, sharing all your insights.